In this video, we're going to talk about how to give coordinates or make coordinates have meaning. So we're going to start with some vocabulary. A coordinate plane has 4 quadrants. So we'll start with that. So go ahead and copy this down. There are 4 quadrants created using the X and Y axis. We'll use Y for the vertical axis and X for the horizontal axis. So when we say x-axis, we're referencing horizontal number line. Where to the left is negative or smaller values, and to the right is positive or bigger values. With the y-axis, we're talking about a vertical number line. And so down has negative values and up has positive values. The origin is where the values are 0 for both the x and the y axis. So the origin is where the 2 lines intersect. We call this the origin. And it's also at the point 0, 0. 0 in the x direction and 0 in the y direction. So for origin, we say it's the intersection of the x and y axis. When we talk about quadrants on a Cartesian plane or a coordinate plane, they're formed by the intersection of the x and y axis. Quadrant 1, quadrant 2, and if you still read analog clocks, it's counterclockwise. Quadrant 3 is the bottom left, and quadrant 4 is the bottom right. So we start in the top right corner and we go around down into the left and then back around to the right again. Notice that these are listed in Roman numerals. So counterclockwise quadrants from quadrant 1 to quadrant 4. So coordinates are directions to a location, where the location is listed as x values and then y values from the origin. In example 1, we're asked to give the coordinates of points A, B, and C and determine the quadrant in which each exists. Let's start with A. A is to the left of the y-axis and above the x-axis. So this is quadrant 2. From the origin, we count to the left or horizontally 3 units. So now our x coordinate is -3. And now we count up 1 unit. So our y is 1. One way to remember this, so that if you can't remember which comes first, x or y, x always comes first in the alphabet. So your coordinate is always alphabetical. X coordinates first and then y coordinates. You'll also possibly find it helpful to remember that x is your horizontal and y is your vertical. Point B is in quadrant 1, and we need to start at the origin. We count to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is our x part of the coordinate point. And then we need to count up 1, 2, 3. So 4, 3 is the coordinates for point B. This is in the first quadrant. Point C is 1 to the left, so -1, and down 2, so -2, to get to C from the origin. This is in quadrant 3. In example 2, we're asked to give the coordinates of points E, F, and G. First, let's label our quadrants. Quadrant 1 is in the top right, quadrant 2 is in the top left, quadrant 3 is in the bottom left, and quadrant 4 is in the bottom right. E is on the x-axis, so starting at the origin, we count left, 1, 2, 3, 4. So x is -4. But it doesn't go up and down from there. It's sitting on the x-axis, so y is 0. F is sitting on the y-axis. So we go left or right from the origin, 0 units, and up 2. So our coordinate point is 0, 2. And lastly, our point G, from the origin, we need to go to the right 2, so +2, and down 1, so -1 in the y direction. Now let's talk about what quadrant they're in. E is between quadrant 2 and 3. F is between quadrant 1 and 2, and G is in quadrant 4.